Dímelo, mi gente, what's going on? It's been a while. I've been out and about. Haven't had a video release in a bit. But here it is. Better late than never. And I'm going to continue to bring them to you. There's no surprise, as you can tell in the title of my video. I'm bringing you a review of another clone of a Creed. You know, I love my Creed. I just love them. Just love them. And I'm always out there looking to see who has the best clone, what smells the best, and what's the best bang for your buck. This is why I do this, because I love to do this. So without further ado, let's rock and roll. So like I said before, what I'm here to do is to bring you a new release of a clone of one of my Creed favorites, which is Green Irish Tweed. This one is courtesy of Z-Frags. I got that from Z-Frags, so this is the way I'm gonna compare. So what I'm gonna talk about today is, obviously you already know in the description, which is a house called Parfum Vintage. Parfum Vintage does several different clones, higher end, but they're different. They are not like your Dua or Alexandria, which I have not tried, which I'm going to. They did Pineapple Vintage Intense, the X Batch. Those are all different variations of Creed Vintage. They also did Suave, which is La Nuit de l'Homme. And now they came out with Verbena Fields and Emerald Isle. Now, I got this as a 3-pack. Let me see the lights of that. Okay, I got this as a 3-pack sample, but I'm only gonna discuss these two today. The 3-pack sample comes out to about 20 bucks. And what you get is this nifty little, card. And then you have the inside, which brings in your little decant. Now you can't really see. Now this decant is filled, if you can see. I can see here with the light. It says Verbena Fields. I mean, looks like they just threw that tape on there, that sticker on there. But this is a pretty big decant. You would figure that this would be pretty filled, but it's not. This decant's filled about up to here. So it's basically about half. I've only done about 3 or 4 sprays. I have it on this side. I have Verbena Fields on this side. And I have Emerald Isle on this side. And then I've got Green Irish Tweed here. So I can do the comparison. And I've also, worn it a couple times to do a testing. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, not a couple times. I did it once for each, so I didn't spray that much. So what do I think about this Emerald Isle, Verbena Fields, and Green Irish Tweed? How similar are they? They're very, very similar. I have thoughts and differences between these two. I find Verbena Fields to be very, very close. However, on the opening, it does not resemble Green Irish Tweed that much. It has I find Green Irish Tweed a lot brighter. I mean, they're similar. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the opening does not smell like it. It does. But when it dries down is after about a half hour, the half-hour mark, it starts developing. And then it starts developing into that signature Green Irish Tweed scent. Yeah, now you can't even barely tell the difference. This has been dried down for a while, for over an hour. So Verbena Fields is very similar. Now, Emerald Isle, on the other hand, is also very, very similar to Green Irish Tweed. Opening further from Verbena, further from Verbena. It's a little bit richer, it's a little bit darker. It's not as bright as GIT and Verbena Fields. It's a little bit darker, it's a little bit richer than Verbena Fields. After the dry down starts kicking in about a half hour as well, it starts to develop also into Green Irish Tweed. Now, I know that they're like supposedly different batch variations. This is supposed to be older and newer, or vice versa, whatever. My take on it is that I feel that this is a lighter version and this is a stronger version. So for me, it makes sense in my mind that this would be your Verbena Fields and this would be Verbena Fields Intense. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. But with that being said, they're both spot on. They're both just like Green Irish Tweed. Longevity and projection, they're very at par. I get a little bit longer, not really much more longer with, you know, the Parfum Vintage, Verbena Fields and Emerald Isle. But Green Irish Tweed also it's a banger, but these guys are excellent. Now, as far as in terms of pricing, would you rather go with the Parfum Vintage, or would you rather either spring for a decant like I do, or would you want to buy the original? A 50 mil of each one of these, you're looking at 65 bucks. 100 mil, you're looking at about 85 bucks. Now for a clone, it's a little bit on the higher side for being a clone, in my opinion. Opinions are like assholes, everybody's got one. With that being said, would it be the right decision to get with some of these? I mean, these are really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. Is it a little bit on the pricier side that you'd rather get something like, you know, I don't know. That's up to you to make that decision. I personally wouldn't shell it out. I'd rather get the original, get a decant and get the original, rather than getting out something like this at 65 for a 50 and 85 for 100, when you can actually get Green Irish Tweed for $180, $200. Fragrantica, you know, not Fragrantica, fragrancenet.com has them at good reasonable prices as well. So you're really not, why would you spend that much rather than getting the original? That's a decision you would have to make. I personally wouldn't do it. Are they excellent? Yes. Is it one of the best clones out there? I think so too. I love Tres Nuit, but Tres Nuit doesn't last as long at all. Doesn't last at all. It's, you know, I gotta decant that puppy because the longevity's not there. So that's my review, guys. I think that, you know, this is a good house. They do, you know, good product, good cloning. For clones, I think they're a little bit, you know, higher. But then again, you know, there's people out there like myself that go ahead and purchase Dua, and Dua's a 30 and you're spending 50 bucks on a, or actually I always use a 25% coupon. So it's a little bit less, about 40 bucks for a 30. So, you know, I'm paying a little bit over, more than about $1 a mil. Does that make sense? Depends, you know, depends. It just depends. Because the longevity out of Dua is, you know, but this isn't a Dua review. Parfum Vintage is a clone house that is making really good product. And I would recommend you guys to check them out. If it's all up to you. If you guys want to go ahead and check them out, you can always order these through them as samples. Downside on the samples, they take a while to get here. But other than that, you know, you can always sample them out. And they don't give you that much in the sample. The sample is really, I mean, it's not a lot for what you're paying for. But anyways, that's just my opinion again. All right, guys. So then again, there you have it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and I'll see you on the next one. See you around, guys.